Hello, my small business owners. So there are 30 million of us. So we have good representation here in the United States. And I'm here to share my 9-step framework to help you get your next 10 customers. Now, this framework pretty much works for everyone, but it especially works very, very well for new business owners. So if you're starting out a new business, maybe you got yourself a new retail store, maybe you are starting to sell a new service, maybe you're doing some side gig out of your garage, or maybe you have a startup, or maybe you are in services business, maybe working in high tech. No matter what you do, this framework can help you get your next 10 customers. Now, see, the beauty about the framework is after you get your next 10 customers, you can apply the framework again and generate another 10 customers. Then you can apply again and generate another 10 customers. So it can go on for a long time. So it's not like you get your first 10 customers and you stop. All right. Excited? I am. So let me get started and share the framework. Now, normally I try to cover everything I have in 30 minutes. This particular session might go a little bit longer. And then obviously after that, we will have our conversation. We will hash it out in the discussion group and see if I can help you guys clarify some of these items. Okay. And I am going to record this session. I'm going to post this on YouTube and Facebook and other social media because I think this is going to be helpful for a lot of people out there. And hopefully they will watch this and want to join our small business advisory group. So that's the idea. But don't worry, I'm not going to record our discussion part of the call, only the presentation part. Okay. So let's get started. So let me ask you this. If you're a new business, where are you spending your maximum time? What are you doing right now? Are you spending it on sales? Are you spending it on marketing? Are you trying to do product development, finance, operation? What are you doing? Okay. So write it down in chat. Give me some ideas. Okay. Sales. All right. Marketing. Good. Product development. Okay. Networking. Good. So yeah, those are the most common answers we get. But you see, none of you guys actually wrote a very important keyword that is responsible for driving conversions, and that's responsible for driving sales. Anybody can guess what that is? That's relationships. See, when we have a relationship with somebody, we have conversations. When we have conversations, we have conversion. When we have conversion, we have sales. When we have sales, we get referrals. So it's kind of like a cycle, works together. So the question you should be asking is, how many new relationships are you establishing? The more relationships you can establish, the better it is. Now, this relationship steps comes when you're having a two-way conversation. So more two-way conversations you have, the more relationships you're establishing. More relationships you establish, more conversion you will have. More conversion will means that you have more sales. More sales means you're gonna even have more referrals and your business will grow. So, question. And it's not even really a question, maybe you should take a pen, write down, take a white paper and write a number. How many relationships you want to establish this month? Very key number. And then you break it down. How many this week? How many today? Let's say that number is as simple as 3 per day. You want to talk to 3 people every single day. Now you need to start thinking backwards and see, how can I talk to 3 people? Now, this is where people get confused. When I say 3 people, I'm not talking about sending out an email, making a video, or running an ad on Google or Facebook or Instagram or something like that. That's not what I mean by that. When I say relationships, I really mean conversation. That means the other party is also talking to you. That is when relationships are built. Okay. So now let's just say you send out an email, but maybe you have to send out 1,000 people to get maybe 3 people to talk to you. And let's say if I'm making a video and I'm posting it online, I need to have a lot of people view at my video. And then the end result will be some of those people want to talk to me. So my goal is every day, I want to talk to 3 new people, 3 people that I have never talked to before. Some of the ways you can do that. You can talk to them, obviously, on Zoom calls. You can do interviews. You can set up a discovery calls and talk to them that way. You can invite people to lunch. So if you're in B2B, like this is what I do very commonly, wherever I am, whether I'm in Austin, Dallas, Houston, in California, North Carolina, New Jersey, wherever I am going, I try to invite some people for lunch and dinner. Yes, I pick up the tab, I have fun with them, I get to know them better. But those lunch and dinners turn into some massive opportunities for me. So figure out how are you going to have those new relationships. I'm sure you can invite some people to have lunch, some dinner, maybe to read a book together with you, maybe do something that is common. Do you play tennis? Do you play football? Do you play some sort of game that you can invite people to? You need to find people with common interests and invite them. And see, when you do that, if I'm a realtor, if I'm an insurance agent, or providing some sort of other service, each relationship can result into more clients for me. Now, some of you guys probably have some sort of business, some sort of service that you cannot really sell to everyone. In that case, you need to be a little bit more selective. So let's pick an example. Let's say I provide some sort of service to dentists. So guess what? I need to, reach out to enough dentists on a regular basis and invite them to lunch or dinner with me. I need to maybe attend some of their networking events. I need to do everything that I can do to be in front of those people. And the end goal is I need to talk to 3 people in person or online, um, where we are having two-way conversation. So that's number one. Focus on building relationships. I think if we brainstorm together just on this subject matter, and obviously if we do that, that would be another hour just talking about this, but we can probably come up with a list of 50 or 100 things that we can do to build those relationships. But there's a good chance that you're not doing it right now. So I encourage you to go back to your drawing board, brainstorm with some of your friends, fellow, people in your team or your friends, and figure out what that list looks like for you and try implementing. All right. So that's my step number one. So you build relationships, you network with people, and you reach out to enough people that you can have 3 conversations a day if you want to grow your business. Step number one. Okay. Step number two. Step number two is from the day one, when you're building these relationships, you need to get in habit of asking for referrals. You need to tell people that, look, for example, I'm a tax code advisor. I help small business owners individual file taxes. Every person I talk to, I need to ask them, hey, can you refer me somebody? Can you recommend me to your friends, your family members, and help me have another conversation with them so I can show them what I can do, how much I can save them on their taxes, maybe help them with their small business. I need to let people know. And oftentimes the mistake people make is they only do this when they have a successful sale. Why? Why are you waiting to make a sale? I mean, referrals can be made by anyone, even a stranger to you, because they want to look good in front of their friends and family members. I run this small business advisory group. Wouldn't you recommend another small business to join this advisory group? I mean, say yes. Okay, there you go. Yeah, at least raise the hand. That way I know we're having some conversations, right? Why do we do that? We do that because it makes you look smart, that you're helping somebody else grow their business. Similarly, when we share a contact, when we share somebody who's really, really good, we look smart in front of people. Well, guess what? Your people that you're talking to, they want to do the same thing to their friends and family members. So always be asking for referrals, even though when you have not made any sale. So who are these people? These are those 3 conversations you're having every single day. Ask them, hey, by the way, so let's say if I'm talking to you and I'm talking to you about your business, you're telling me, hey, I'm an insurance agent, I'm a realtor, I'm a dentist, I have this agency, I'm doing this. I'm spending 30 minutes learning about you. I'm really interested to getting to know you. I'm not going to do any sales to you. What I'm going to do is say, hey, by the way, I'm a tax code advisor. That's what I do for a living. Is there someone that you know who can benefit from my services? Maybe it's another small business owner, maybe an individual who needs some help with their taxes. Do you think you can recommend me to someone? And that's it. Maybe they do business with you, maybe they don't. But it's like you get 2 benefits out of it. Number one, maybe that person wants to do business with you, so you kind of just open up that line without being so pushy and trying to get them to do business with you. And number two is that, hopefully they will refer somebody to you, so you win either way. Okay. Now, when you're having these conversations and when you're asking for referrals, don't try to be someone you are not. And I hear that a lot because we try to become salespeople. I don't think you really need to become a salesperson at this stage. At some point when you're actually doing a sales presentation and whatnot, maybe you need some sales tactics there because people need convincing, people need some nudge, people need some help. We're just bad decision makers in general. But at this stage, you need to be somebody's friend. You need to have some good listening ears. At this stage, you just need to build a relationship. You need to have natural conversation. You need to talk like you're talking to your friends, your family members. You're really paying attention to their problems and presenting some good solutions to help them out. That's what I do. It works very well. People appreciate it. People see I'm genuine. I'm not trying to fake it. I'm not trying to take advantage of them. Um, in matter of fact, when I'll give you a great example, because I'm in tax business, a lot of people come to me with opportunities. They will say, hey, can you please recommend this to a friend, to your clients? And first thing I say, I would not do that unless I vet you out. I want to make sure this product and service is really, really good and it really does help the customers. If there's any kind of risk involved, I want to disclose that to my clients as well. Now, let's say you have a risky business. That doesn't mean somebody shouldn't do business with you. You just need to disclose it. You got to just let them know. And by doing that, I think I earn respect in people's eye. They go like, man, this guy's just not going to randomly send anybody to anyone. This guy is really care about customers. He's really going to do the right thing. So those people want to do business with me as well. So that's my advice number two. Step two of this framework, where you build natural connections and you always ask for referrals. Okay, so we got networking and building relationships, and the step two is asking for referrals all the time. Okay, so what's number three? Number three is asking for support. I think the new business owners, they start the business because they think they know how to run the business, but they they may know some part of running that business, but they might not be the expert at it. And if I was wrong, which I could be, sometimes there are some really great people out there. I meet them and they're just genius. But majority of time, we all have weaknesses. And when we're starting a small business, we're just way overconfident. And because we're overconfident, we often ignore our weaknesses. So I think if you want to be a successful small business owner, then you really need to identify your weaknesses and you need to seek out help, seek out support. And good thing is we're in an age where support systems have become incredibly cheap, you know, honestly. And sorry, I don't want to market my small business advisory group, but think about it. We charge only $300, and how much information we share. We talk about taxes, we talk about finance, we talk about sales, we talk about marketing, we talk about operations. How much information? And we do it every single week. What does that do to a small business owner after 1 year? Incredible results you can achieve just by staying in the program. Similarly, there are a lot of other programs out there that are very, very specific. So let's just say you're weak in marketing, and let's break it down. What are you weak in? Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, YouTube. Where is your weakness? Now, some of you are probably saying, like, I know, right? Yeah, me, I see that. Uh, that's okay. You don't have to conquer the world on day one. Let's take it slowly. Let's take one step at a time. So let's say if I want to learn how to do better YouTube. Well, guess what? There's so many coaches out there. All I have to do is join a program of a coach. Maybe they charge me $2,000, $5,000. But if they can solve that problem for me in next 30 to 60 days, how much time and effort I have saved. Let's just say you don't know how to make YouTube videos and you spend next 2 years learning. And you do have to, right? We only get better at anything when we practice and we learn. So what happens when you join a coaching program? Like, okay, what happens? So those of you guys who are in our small business advisory group, what happens? Every week we're talking and I'm giving you some things to do. And so like, go try these ideas. And the next week we come back and we ask, hey, how many of you guys tried the idea? What was the feedback? What did you get anything out of it? Did it work? What did that do? It motivates those who did not try the idea. And I think that's what the problem is. There's tons of information out there, but because there's a lack of support group, there's lack of coaching, people don't really try out the ideas. And the ideas just go to junkyard and we never really make any progress. So that's the beauty of coaching programs. So I'm a big believer of coaching programs. So please, if you think, well, I don't want to pay $2,000 for just to learn how to make YouTube videos. I can go on YouTube and type in how to make YouTube video and learn. You could. That is an option. If you are that kind of person, if you can execute on your own, if you don't need motivation, if you don't need coaching, if you don't need to ask people questions, if you don't want to be part of group who is learning together, then yes, you can do that. All the information I think these days is available, pretty much everywhere. You Google anything, you'll find it, but it will come along with all bunch of other junk as well. Anything that can save you time and money, invest in it. It's well worth it, because so give you another example. Let's stick with this YouTube, but this example applies for everything. If you waste 2 hours a day making a bad video, or you're just not able to make the video because you run into various issues, how much time have you spent in 1 year? Just do the math yourself. Could you have spent that time doing something else? Could you have used that time on your business to build something? So what I ask people is definitely, no matter what you're doing, try it out for at least 30 days, bare minimum 30 days. Recommended at least 90 days. But if nothing, if you're like one of those who got to move from one place to other, try it out for 30 days, but hopefully 90 days. So let's say you want to make videos. Well, try to post at least one video a day for 90 days. And that will give you a good idea about whether that video is working or not. And if you need improvements and if you need to make some changes. But you got to give it enough time for it to work, whether you're using a coaching program or you're trying to do it yourself. Anyhow, enough about YouTube video, but you get the idea. The logic applies for every single skill. Maybe you don't know how to read P&L statement. The other day, a gentleman called in and he says, Deepak, I don't know how to read my W-2. And many of you guys will be surprised, but it was a very genuine question. A lot of people don't know how to read their W-2s. A lot of people don't know how their HSA program works. People don't know how their 401k programs work. People don't know how much fees they're paying on credit cards, interest rates they're paying, points they're paying on their loan. There's so much misinformation or lack of education in finance world that blows my mind. And nonetheless, people buy. I mean, how many of us own Apple stocks or Google stocks or some of the other big names out there, right? And if I were to ask you, what was the net profit for this company last year, first year, would you know that? Probably not. Most of us don't know that. And we still randomly buying stuff here and there. So anyhow, I think the lack of education can cost you a lot. So please, if you're lacking something, I don't want you to wait 1 year, 2 years, and just give up on your business because it didn't work. If you have those weaknesses, whether they're in finance, whether they're in marketing, operation, sales, hiring, try to find somebody who can help you with that. Some of you might need more help than the others. For example, we talk about everything, but we don't talk too much in detail about a particular subject matter like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. We talk in very small. So that works for many people, but some of you guys might need a little bit more hand holding. And for those people, you need to look out for coaching programs that are specific in those areas. Spend time. It's well worth it. Spend your money in those areas, well worth it, because at least you would not be failing for that reason. Imagine if you put 2 years building your business and your business failed because you did not know how to use Instagram or how to use YouTube. Isn't that like a silly mistake, which could have been easily solved by a little bit of coaching, a little bit of help? Okay, I think you get the point. So that's my third advice to you. Always seek out support and help from people who are expert in those fields that can bring your learning curve really down and get you to scale faster. What happens with small business owners is we get way distracted with our day-to-day work that we tend to ignore pretty much everything else in our life. We ignore our health. We ignore our not just health, physical and mental and emotional. We ignore our family. We ignore our friends, our festivals. We ignore things that we enjoy. The problem is this: if you have that kind of attitude, or if you're already feeling that you're in that kind of mode, that would not last for very, very long time. That's going to make you tired and you're going to give up. And more importantly, you're not going to get help and support from people you're doing all this for anyways. That is your friends, your family. They'll help you out for a little bit, but eventually they will give up. And because they give up and you won't have the motivation, so you are going to give up on your small business, your side hustle, and whatever dream that you're trying to build yourself. So first thing I would say is keep that in mind. My physical health, my emotional health, my friends, my family members, things I like to do. Make a list of those items and always keep it where you can easily see them. So that way you remember, why are you doing this? And if those things are not there, I mean, imagine you wanted to build $1 million business, right? And you built the $1 million business, but now your health is not good, or your family is no longer with you. I mean, what did you really get out of it? Nothing. So first thing is, let's get that right. Now that we get that right, second thing we want to do is build our daily schedule. Now, I'm not talking about setting up your day-to-day meetings. I'm sure you're really good at that and you can do that yourself. That's not the point. What I'm talking about is what kind of consistency you're going to have in your life. What kind of things are you going to do on regular basis, on daily basis? Those are important, because if you just show up and do the same thing over and over again, and that thing that you're doing is helping you build relationships, you're going to be successful. Because, like I said, why? Relationships turn into conversations, conversations turn into conversions, conversions turn into sales, sales turns into referrals, and you have yourself a big business, right? So consistency is a very important element. So some things that you want to be consistent on, okay? Number one, exercise. Don't exercise, I think is you can still make it, but it will be just harder. Number two, meditate. If you're not meditating, mental health is so important. We get lost. So many things are being thrown at us, especially as a small business owner. We can lose it really, really fast. So very, very important. Exercise, meditate, eat the right food. So those are some basic elements. Now let's move past that. How much time are you spending on personal development? That means you're training yourself. I would say at least 2 to 3 hours a day should go on your personal development. Maybe you learn a new skill. Maybe you enhance something that you already know. Maybe you practice something that you want to really get really good at. If you're not doing that, you're not going to get better. But if you focus on that every single day for 2 to 3 hours a day, imagine what will happen a year from now. You'll be so much better at whatever it is that you do. So very, very important. So embrace some sort of daily schedule. You get to make it. You don't have to follow mine. You get to make it, and write down exactly what are you going to do, what skills you're going to learn, and what are you getting out of learning. So just be very, very clear and concise and do it every single day. Go back 90 days, 6 months, a year down the road and take a look how you have improved. Now, just being consistent and just being able to learn new skills will only get us so far. Why? Because the world is so dynamic. Things are changing. There is black swan events happening all the time. I mean, who saw COVID will come hit us? Some war, some sort of recession, some sort of government policy change, some sort of new tax laws. There's so much happening in the business world. We can't keep track of everything and we can't fight for many things. So what do? What we need to do is we need to tap into our determination and our motivation. So we need to find out, where do we get this? Where is your motivation comes from? Is that from your kids? Is that for things that you like to do? It's for the people that you like to support. Just last week, I was in California. I was talking to a gentleman, and he's doing very well in his life, has multiple properties, good business. And he goes like, what I want to do is I want to help a lot of people. I want to help feed hungry. I want to build schools. He has like so many plans that he wants to do for people. Great. That's a source of motivation. Write that down. Maybe your source of motivation is your family. Write that down. Maybe it's how you look. Maybe you have a picture. This is how I want to look. What is your source of motivation? Is that always in front of you? Because if you don't have that, then you're going to have trouble staying consistent. And consistency sometimes does require motivation, although it shouldn't, but it does. Many of us give up. Every now and then we need a little nudge. We need some help. And I think these support groups, by the way, they're wonderful for that. But what happens is so imagine you go to a support group and somebody asks a question that's not totally irrelevant to you. It's not even your problem. And this person, by the time he had asked this question, has already been struggling with that problem probably for a long time, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years. And he has wasted a lot of time and energy on solving that problem. However, because you were part of that group and you heard that question, you heard that person telling you that problem, what happens? Now you're hearing all sorts of ideas how to solve that problem from that peer group. So you get smarter just listening to other people's problem. And when you feel smarter, when you have more answers, more solutions, what happens? You're more confident. You're like, I can solve that problem. Other people can do it. I can do it because I've done it before. I know it. I heard it. And you have verified it because so many people share their ideas. Okay. That confidence, that knowledge actually is also a great motivation. Imagine let's say if you're the best doctor in the world and somebody comes ask you a question. I mean, aren't you like self-motivated by yourself because you are the best? You have done it millions of times. You're really, really good at it. That's where the confidence comes from. That's where motivation comes from. So do that. Another thing is subscribe to some channels where you can get motivation from. Some people that you're inspired from. Maybe they're spiritual, maybe they're political, maybe they are financial, whoever they might be. But don't listen to them too much. Now, I know. I get that. You're like, what? Okay, here's the problem. If I have to give you a motivational dose every 5 minutes to get you to do something, you're just going to become super lazy. Not a good idea. Yes, we do all need motivation every now and then, but we don't need too much of it. We need to be self-motivated. We need to have our own determination, our own source of motivation. We shouldn't have to seek that from somebody else, from third party. You don't need to come to me to get motivated. You should be self-motivated. Now, sometime if there's somebody struggling, they need some help. Maybe you need to hold their hand, give them a hug, help them solve their problem. That's okay. We should do that. That's good. But we shouldn't be doing that every single day. That means that person has a serious problem. We need to get them a serious help. Somebody coming crying on your shoulder every single day, you need to look for therapy. You cannot be their therapist. We need to be very, very aware of our boundaries. And if we try to cross those boundaries and we try to be somebody we are not just that we're wasting our time, we're actually doing disservice to that person as well. So that's my next. All right. So ready for the next one? Okay. Some of you guys not gonna like it because it's hard, super hard. You got to create content, a lot of content. Why? Because that's how people know what you believe in, and that's how you get better at it. So you got to create a lot of content. So what do I mean by content? Used to be blog posts. They used to work very, very well. But these days, I think we are past that. People like to more hear. People like to see rather than reading something that you have wrote. So try to make a lot of videos. If possible, one video a day. If you can do one video a day, maybe do one video every other day. If that's not possible, definitely one video a week. Because by doing that, you're putting yourself in front of a lot of people. Now, we can make another entire segment about how do you make good videos. And there are people who are really, really good at that. And I'm still learning. I'm still a student of learning how to make better YouTube videos. Maybe a year from now, you'll see my videos getting even better. And you might even laugh at some of the old videos I did. As a matter of fact, you should check some of the videos I did 15 years ago. They were interesting. Me and Sanjeev doing videos. They were really, really funny. So I think I'm already better, but I'm still learning every single day anyway. But what I'm saying is, you need to put your content out there on any platform, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whatever you believe in. You need to tell people, what do you believe in? What problems are you solving for people? Come up with some answers to people's problem. And if you're now, here's the problem. So what happens is, let's say I make a video on how do you save taxes with real estate. Now, am I the first one making a video on that subject matter? Probably not. There are probably millions of people who have already made videos, and they're already out there on social media and other places. So what good would another one video do? See, the thing is, you're not making video for everyone in the world. You're making the video for your audience. They want to learn that information from you. See that? They want to learn, they want to hear that information from you, not from somebody else. Yeah, there are other videos. They don't want to watch those videos. They want to watch you. They want to hear you. They want to know it from you. That's what they're looking for. So don't focus so much on what's happening out in other people's business. Focus on yourself. Just continuously do it. More you do it, the better it is. You need to prioritize this. So if it's like, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it done, not going to work. Do some basic steps. Spend some money if you can. Most of us have smartphones. That's all you really need to record a good video. If possible, get some nice audio. I think my audio works fine, but I just ordered myself one of those wireless Rode devices to improve my audio. See what did that do. Some lighting. Before I used to have just a ceiling light, but I got, I think these are $100 lights. They go kind of right behind the camera, and it just kind of get rid of shadows and the videos look a little bit better. So spend a little bit of money. You don't have to spend a whole lot, and put it on your schedule that you're going to make at least one video a day. But in order to make one video a day, what do you need? You need, what are you going to make the video about? What are you going to talk about? What kind of content you're going to have? So all that stuff takes time. So you need to, maybe put another hour down somewhere in your schedule to brainstorm those ideas, but problems. Now, if you are already an established business, you already know what to talk about. These are the things that your people ask. Majority of my videos is the questions you're asking anyway. If I was trying to make a video of every single question somebody asks me, I can probably make 100 videos a day. So I have plenty of content to talk about. I can talk about business. I can talk about taxes. I can talk about states. I can talk about establishing new businesses. I have a lot to talk about. And so do you. You're just not thinking about it for a second. So please, if you have not made building content your priority, I urge you to do that. Don't get stuck with, how I'm going to do it. What's going to, if you don't know how to do it, reach out for some help. There are plenty of courses out there. If you don't have money, you can probably buy some course on Udemy or Coursera. You can even reach out to some friends. There's plenty of resources. The problem is you're not doing anything about it. You're just letting it day by day pass and just kind of push it on to next day. So please don't do that. Another thing is, don't try to start multiple channels all at once. So maybe you start with Facebook, then maybe you move on to Instagram, then maybe you move on to YouTube. But if you try to do all at once, you can get overwhelmed and probably will end up making a lot of mistakes. And honestly speaking, you don't have enough time in the day to do that. Eventually, you'll be able to repurpose the content for all of those platforms all at once, and the system will work just fine. But that takes time. Okay. Only thing I want you to get out of it is, if you're not building content, get in the habit of building content. That's what's important. Everything else can wait. Another thing is, some of you guys might be thinking, well, what kind of content can I create? What do I talk about in my business? There's always something to talk about. Maybe you can go a little broad. Let's say if you are Oh, okay. Maybe there's not much to talk. I'll give you that. Let's go back for a second. Let's say you have a business that is really so unique that there's nothing to talk about. Okay. Then what about partnering up with people? Talk about them. All you need to do is have a relationship. Give you a great example. Let's say if you are one of those businesses that doesn't have anything to talk about. Okay. Why not partner up with me? Reach out to me and say, hey, Deepak, I would like to do is I would like to do a podcast with you and I want to promote it to my community. I talk about taxes or I talk about small businesses. And then in between, you talk about your business. Maybe it's not a whole lot. Maybe it's only for 2 minutes, but that's okay. But now you have content that can reach out to new people. Maybe talk to a local restaurant, maybe talk to an insurance guy, maybe talk to some other business owners in your local market. Build content with them. So if you cannot talk about yourself, you can always talk about other people. Okay, now let me take it one step further. Some of you are going right now, yeah, but I'm shy. I don't want to reach out to all these other local businesses and talk to them. Okay, no problem. If you are that kind of person, then you can always give your opinion. At the bare minimum, start making videos about opinion. Hey, I talked to Deepak. I watched his video. He's so good. He talked about this subject matter. I liked it. And tag me in that video. What happens then? I'm following you. I'm talking about you. Guess what? We're building relationship again. Remember, it's all back to relationship. So anyhow, I think you get the point. Focus on building content. Make it your priority. If you think you're weak in something, seek out for some support, seek out some help. There are plenty of courses, plenty of coaches who can help you get over that. Okay, that's my. Lastly, I want to talk to you about another concept that might be also hard to do as a small business owner, and that is stop thinking. We are in such a thinking mode, and I know I see a lot of you guys that are nodding your head right now. We're constantly thinking, depleting our brain's energy to do anything creative. We just keep thinking. No, don't think too much. Have a plan. Follow these steps that I have given you. Put it down on your calendar. Prioritize them and just follow the plan. Don't overthink it. I get people like, well, I can't network because of this. I cannot make a video because of this. My hair doesn't look good. My eyes don't look good. I have to find a new suit. All sorts of crazy reasons why you can't do that. Who cares what your accent is like? Who cares how you look like, or how you talk, or how you look, or how you speak? Doesn't matter. You're talking to people who like you the way you are. And those are the people who want to do business with you. If somebody doesn't like me anyway, why would they do business with me? And why would I want to do business with them? It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Get over it. Don't get stuck in analyzing everything. You only need to just focus on what is working for you, which is these steps that I have given you. Okay. So please focus on those. So let me summarize these steps for you for one last time. So number one, networking. Always be networking. Number two, always be building relationships, right? Number three, always seek out support and help. Number four, always ask for referrals. Never forget that. When you're networking, when you're building relationships, you're talking to people, maybe even your coaches, maybe even your support group, all of those people, they all are relationships. And always ask for referrals. Who can they introduce? Not necessarily to make a sale, just somebody you can talk to. You need people you can talk to. That's how the business happens. You need people who can have two-way conversations with you. So if you forget about everything else out of this video, then please do remember this particular point. You need two-way conversations. Next, design your daily schedule. In that daily schedule, you need to specify what time you're going to work on your content, what time you're going to work on your physical and mental health. What are you going to do about your food habits? What are you going to do about your personal learning, your personal development? Very, very key concept. Work on harnessing motivation and determination. Figure out what motivates you. How can you stay determined? How can you be consistent? How can you show up every single day? Because if you're not doing that, then everything kind of falls apart. So you need to have that clearly written down. And so something that you can look at. Hey, this is where my motivation comes from. If you lack a motivation, sometimes you can subscribe to some people, but don't depend on them on a consistent motivation every single day. That is not going to last. That's like that's like getting addicted to motivation. It's I want you to take motivation from other people as medicine, sometimes, or vitamins. Sometimes you're lacking something and you need some extra help. That's okay. But you can't depend on it every single day. For every single day habits, that needs to come from within, something that you develop on your own. So figure out what motivates you and write it down. And the last two is always be creating content. If you're not creating content for any reason, you're shying away from it, or maybe you lack some skill, then work on developing those skills. But start creating content from today. Normally we make our calls are about 30 minutes and then we do discussion. Today we are like almost at 45 minutes. So I understand that. And I apologize, but this was an important concept. And I think many of you guys can take this tomorrow and apply it in your business and generate your next 10 customers. Some basic principles, but they work for everyone. So I apologize for going a little bit longer. But the point is, don't get stuck. If you cannot talk for 1 hour, talk for 5 minutes. It's okay. I didn't say you have to make a 1 hour long videos. Make a 5 minute long video. If you cannot create a long post, create a short post, but do something. It's about building a habit. Once you have a habit, you're going to get better at it. And once you get better at it, people will start relating to you. It's just like I want you to get in process of start creating content. And lastly, stop thinking. Don't waste time in negative thoughts. See, pay attention. In a day, do we get more positive thoughts or negative thoughts? If you pay attention, you'll find out that majority of our thoughts are actually negative thoughts. Very few are positive. Now, I'm not saying that you're thinking in a negative way. That's not what I meant. What happens is people are trying to sell us stuff all the time. And how do they sell? They sell by making us fearful. Oh, recession is coming. The price is going to go up. We have a sale. If you don't buy it today, this is going to end. I get that. They're trying to nudge us to make a decision today. But at the same time, I want you to understand that a lot of negative news is out there. And those news are creating a lot of negative thoughts. Okay. When we don't have success, when we have some failures in front of us, it's natural for us to think negatively. So understand that you have a new business, you're starting out, it's okay. It's okay for people to say no to you. It's okay if you're failing right now. You're only failing today so you can be successful tomorrow. You're only failing today. Don't give up on your business. You can make it work. It will take some help. It will take some support. It will take a lot of hard work from you, but you're going to make it. You are going to build $1 million business. It's just a matter of time. All right. So I'm going to stop here and then we're going to take your questions. I hope you guys found this content very, very helpful. And if not, or if you think, it was waste of your time, definitely let me know as well. Thank you so much. And let's take your questions now.